I don't know if you can see that. It's a little squirrel trap from TSC, Tractor Supply Center. I think it says Advantech. Anyways, this little trap came with a set I bought there. I was trying to get rid of a raccoon that was in one of my little sheds, and anyways, this little trap came with it, and I could never catch anything with it. It just, the little treadle thing that went on the inside here just wasn't very sensitive, so I took it apart. And I took the treadle out of it. I guess it's called the trigger. But it was inside there, was attached to this little rod. And these little tabs here were folded over. And it was attached to the bottom of the trap. But it was attached to the bottom, and it just was not very sensitive. So obviously I took it off, and I just took a pair of pliers and I slowly rolled these little tabs off of the cage. And there was 3 connectors. And these pieces were flattened down, and then I obviously just gave a little nip with the tin snips, and then folded it over. Got a piece of all round, riveted on there. Folded back to a 90. This measurement here is about approximately 2.5 inches, somewhere in there. It's just a 1/8 rivet on there. And then I reinstalled it as such. Or it's like a key ring. Slipped it off the wire. Let's put that back on. Then I took a piece of wire, fencing wire, something like that. You could probably use a piece of copper, number 14, approximately 7 inches. So something like that doesn't have to be too factory or whatever. It's kind of bush, but it works awesome. So that's the design I came up with to modify this unit, and it's turned out to be very productive. I ended up modifying it a couple of weeks ago. I just kind of took it apart just so to show everybody, but I wanted to test it first, and worked great. I caught 6 squirrels in 7 days, and was happy to take them over to a little park across the river and let them go. So you don't have to kill them. This thing works great. So another thing about setting this trap when you're trying to catch squirrels is when you set the trigger, this little mechanism up here, this little spring, just press your finger in there so you get a feel for where the trigger's sitting, where it's flush against this little bar here or whatever, this little piece. And just make sure that you kind of push it in, that it's just kind of barely gonna go. Because squirrels are pretty light, so it takes a light trigger. So when they come back here, a little pressure on there and boom, it's down. So just, if you push it all the way to the top, that little spring mechanism, the trigger part, it pushes in farther. So just kind of push it back, get a feel with your fingertip there, and it's just kind of on the edge. That's where you want it. You set it down near the bird feeder or whatever, that's where I did it. It's just at the base. Sprinkle a little bird seed down in top here, maybe a little bit on the front end. Get the thing to come up. Nibbles at the stuff, sees the stuff in there, goes in, boom. Bob's your uncle. Another thing I noticed though is that they come in on the side here and they dig out and they'll push the trap away to get at the seeds. So what I recommend doing is putting some kind of weight on top of here. I used a rock, pretty good sized rock, but yeah, just put the rock on top there, and that stopped them from pushing it out of the way to get at the seeds that were kind of supposed to be on the inside. Anyways, that modification, those little setup tips, put on the rock there or some kind of weight. This thing's an awesome trap. Just the little treadle trigger is, it wasn't quite sensitive enough, but with this modification, the thing works fantastic. So it's an easy fix, and I don't know if you'll catch chipmunks. I think they can actually go through the wire, but it definitely catches squirrels. So if you have a squirrel issue, this is your machine. It's that easy modification. Anyways, there you go. Happy trapping.